If you like this channel and what I do here, please help to support my work by checking out one of my books, available from Lulu Publishing and Amazon.com. Thank you. Hi folks, Carl James here from Electric Media Madness, joined again today by Dan Ryan. How you doing, mate?
Hello.
Good stuff?
I'm good.
You alright?
Yes.
We're here to review a bit of a different video today because we're actually doing a review and discussion of Lower Decks episodes 2 and 3. Shortly in this video we're going to be jumping into episode 3, but for now, so this is just a little introduction, we're going to jump to some footage that we recorded last week discussing episode 2. So that'll kick off in a moment, and then once that footage is over we will begin talking about episode 3. We're here for another review discussion of Star Trek Lower Decks, episode 2 this time. We did and ah in the last video about whether we were going to watch any more or not, didn't we? But you were interested.
I'll give it a few. I like Rick and Morty.
That was it, wasn't it? Yeah.
I like Rick and Morty. I'll give it a few.
Yeah, so I thought, what the hell? Bit of a strange experience, really, this one, because, well, it wasn't bad.
I was quite shocked because the first one was really bad.
Yeah. And I actually laughed a couple of times.
A few times,
yeah. The episode was completely gutted by something that happened like in the last 10 seconds, but we'll come to that. Not really much of a story to it, this episode. It was called Envoys, depending on where you come from in the world, how you pronounce that. And the basic plot of the story really was, they seem to be a pairing up, don't they? Like Rick and Morty, really. Yeah. Ensign Mariner, Beckett Mariner, and Brad Boimler, is it? Who's a token, Boimler.
Him.
Token pathetic
Morty.
white man.
Yeah.
And they meet. They're asked to. Were they asked to escort, or did they take it upon themselves to escort this Klingon chap? Karan was his name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Down to this colony, and he's just typically drunk Klingon sort of thing.
Yeah.
But as is the intention with this character, she's also like that, Mariner. She's also like can keep up with the best of them, and because she's the bestest ever, as Doomcock would say, the bestest ever. Well, we'll come to all that business with the bestest ever shortly. Yeah. So that really, he clears off in their shuttlecraft and leaves them stranded on the planet, and it's their misadventures to try and find a way to get off the planet because there's something in the atmosphere that prevents communications and transporters, so they have to get a ride off the planet. They go looking for him in the hopes of finding the shuttle to get back, which they do ultimately, find the shuttle. And then there's a B plot to the story, which is Rutherford, the sort of cyborg sort of chappie, who's was originally in engineering, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I think it came about because of our Orion girl, Devan Tendi, or Onion Girl, as you say. You read it on my notes. I'm terrible writing. Look like Onion Girl instead of Orion Girl. She mentioned something about working together or something.
They wanted to watch
do something together.
They wanted the thing that they watched at the end.
Right.
She wanted to watch that with someone.
Right.
But because he's busy all the time working,
so
he was going to transfer.
Which takes him through a series of scenarios where he's trying out for security and medical and command, all that, and he ultimately gets the position in security, doesn't he? Because he seems to have a natural and sort of ability for. Well, it's not natural because it's his cyborg implant that causes him to be able to be good at it. And then he just decides that he looks down and sees a Jeffries tube, which is how he originally. So he decides just to transfer back to.
Which was actually like the funnier part.
Which was the funny part of the episode. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to wow about this. I don't like praising anything from the Alex Kurtzman secret hideout bad robot JJ-esque sort of era of Star Trek. But you know, we'll say credit where credit's due with this one. It wasn't a bad episode, and it did make me laugh. It got about 4 laughs out of me, which is pretty, you know, and intended laughs, not unintentional, where you're laughing at it, actually laughing with it rather than at it, the absurdity of it. Yeah. So let's go. Let's just, you know, anything you wanted to say off the bat first of all. Do you want to talk about Rutherford's exploits and because we probably laughed at the same kind of things, didn't we?
Yeah. He just, you know, he first goes to command, and that doesn't go very well. He kills 105% of the crew somehow.
105% of the crew, which did make us. It did make us both laugh, didn't it? Yeah. So and he just because he's like. The warp core is about to go, and this is it, and this and he's like, maintain course. Yeah, I feel very dirty actually doing this. Actually saying good things about this era of Star Trek, but no, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm not going to be false with any of this thing. If something deserves to be said, you know, because we talked about the first episode, didn't we, as being you know, really not that good at all.
No, it wasn't funny at all.
And fundamentally, the major problem with this series is the character of Mariner, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really. And we must stress for those people out there that like to point ists and phobes and things, it's got nothing to do with the fact that she's black, it's got nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman or anything like that. It's typically that thing of as the great Lord Dictor Van Doomcock, all hail Doomcock, you know, he would say, you know, she's the bestest ever. You know, it's that thing, isn't it? Again, of she's a typical Mary Sue.
Yeah.
And they had an opportunity in this episode to make her very human.
Yeah.
And almost relatable. And I think, oh, she's got flaws. She's not perfect. She can do everything. And she knows everything about every culture and that. Because, well, do you want to tell the little story for our viewers of what happens with that? We'll come back to Rutherford. But,
when they're stranded on that planet, they encounter a Ferengi who's trying to mug them.
Because we must stress that Boimler is like...
He keeps messing up. He keeps nearly
getting
killed.
Every time the alien they meet, he thinks he knows their culture, doesn't he? And he doesn't. And Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, and then they encounter a Ferengi who's like, "Oh, come here, we'll help you. Come into this cave." She's like, "That's not a Ferengi." Nah,
it's a Bolian.
and then the Ferengi pulls the knife, and then she's like, "Oh, okay, you know, I'm wrong. That's my bad." And then he's like, "Don't worry, I won't tell anyone." When they go to the bar
on the ship, and they get back.
Yeah, and you know, he's taking the piss and that bit was another.
As ordinary normal people do that, don't they? It's friendly ribbing. It's like you should have seen the idiot she made of herself. You know, she was like,
and he's just there like human,
taking human.
And that bit was another funny part.
And we liked that because we thought, well, that's good because and she's like, yeah, all right, you know. I mean, I should have twigged at the time when I was watching the episode because Bolians are bald usually and blue with a big line down the front. You know, you cannot mistake a Ferengi for a Bolian and vice versa. Given how much she thinks she knows about everything and everybody, she should really have not, you know, an alarm bell should have gone off with me when I was watching that. But hang on a minute, why did she mistake that?
When she walked out of the bar, there was like a cheeky smug.
Yes.
And I was like, is something up here?
Yeah.
And it turns out something is up here.
Yeah.
Because after that, she goes to bed. She gets her iPad out, and and she FaceTimes the Ferengi.
And he got like a monocle on or something like that. Like he was like in his smoking jacket with his pipe and a monocle and I don't know.
A cup of tea. Yeah, and it turned out that she'd hired him to.
I mean, the thing is, how did she even know that she was going to be stranded on that planet anyway to hire him and all that? There was no communication ability on that planet, so she couldn't have like Why would she have set? It didn't make any sense. That didn't. How would she have set that up in advance? She didn't know she was going to be stranded there, so she wouldn't have contacted him beforehand. If she knew he was on the planet and thought, "I'll sort this idiot out," you know, Boimler, there was no ability to communicate with people on the planet, so she couldn't have like. So that was just totally illogical. Yeah. Typically, the way the JJ Brigade and that Alex Kurtzman likes write stuff.
It is.
But that plot hole is fun, is representative of everything that's, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because it gutted it, didn't it?
It did a bit, yeah.
It gutted it.
But luckily, most of the funny stuff was in the separate plot line.
Plot with Rutherford, yeah.
Yeah, so it maybe it didn't, like, for me it didn't ruin everything, because that other stuff was still separate to that.
Yes.
And that bit was,
Yeah. Because another one of the things that we laughed at was when he did his time in sick bay. The doctor to Anna, or the cat doctor as I call him, was telling him to keep the patient calm. This Bajoran bloke on the bio bed, and he's like, "Oh, my senses tell me that you've only got like an 18% chance of dying." And he's like, "Well, now it's 20% since I've told you." And it's like, I mean, yeah, there were some good little things there.
But then when he fights the Borg was quite funny.
Yeah.
Not quite as much, but
again, I mean, it's something like this is the typical. You know, I've got to be honest about these things. These are the things that undermine these things. Like that's funny stuff on the holodeck, for example.
Yeah.
On the second scenario, the humour there was I've killed all the children on the ship, which I didn't find that funny. I mean, some people might find that funny, but you know, it's not my sort of cup of tea for humour. And then, because all the children had died, when he done the next episode, need more children. And it's like kill all the children on the holodeck simulation and all that. And I did think that was a bit, you know, I know some people find that sort of humour, you know, but I don't know, I thought, the first laugh worked great, just the fact that he was so inept and killed everybody just by maintaining course and all that.
Do the Janeway move.
Yeah, but we must mention as well, there's like there were some blatantly obvious things, like Mariner said to Boimler, "Oh, you need badass, cool people like me in Starfleet," and then they need like I can't remember what she called
nerds, book nerds or something like that.
In it. Yeah. I mean that again is, you know, par for the course with Star Trek nowadays, and of course. Dishonourable mention here for the fact that we did have the blast shields thing from the trailer in this episode. Blast shields. Oh my.
Who'd have thought that the funnier episode of the two would have that in?
Yeah. It's a bit, and it kind of shows that it's all over the place. I don't like saying this, and again, I've made me feel like I've got things crawling on my skin when I say this, but this could actually be quite a good Star Trek show.
Good.
In the vein of the Orville, maybe, but. Make you know, let Mariner have some flaws.
Yeah.
Let her be, you know, let her do things wrong sometimes and fuck up, basically, excuse my language, you know, and that kind of thing, you know.
See, I think I know where, because I was saying to you before, and I think I said it in the last episode as well, that they're trying to make her like Rick from Rick and Morty. Because he's like basically a god, you know, he's like the only human who can travel through time and stuff, and he can do whatever he wants, and no one can do anything about it. But she's not like that. She's just a human. No.
Although she might inherit Michael Burnham's Red Angel
maybe she will,
and then that will all start to happen.
Maybe she will, but like she's not at that point, so she just seems like just an egotistical shit. Yeah, really. Yeah. And it's not, that bit isn't working.
And I can't quite understand what you know, because it seems as though she had a career in Starfleet. That Klingon chap said, you know, about all the things that, and Boimler did say. How old are you? I thought you was the same age as me, kind of thing. Yeah. So clearly she's had lots of experience, but that shouldn't make her a cocky little, you know, like oh, I know everything. You know, this world-weary traveller sort of thing. But that's a good character sometimes if written the right way. Yeah. The world-weary traveller who's seen it all done, but you have to just be a bit sort of more sort of like stoner dude, laid back. You know, go with the flow kind of thing. But she's so hyperactive, isn't she? Yeah. That's one of the things that's a real flaw with the character as well. Is you get sick to death of being in that person's company after 5 minutes if it was a real person in the real world.
Just be like, transfer me off this shit.
They'd annoy the hell out of you. They really would. You're like, for fuck's sake, calm down, stop for a minute. You know, you know. Do you have to keep and bouncing off the walls, literally? You know. Yeah, but they had an opportunity here to make that character much more likeable, for want of a better word, and you know, because I don't hold to this idea that characters have to be relatable for you to like them.
They have to be realistic.
They have to
to a certain extent, anyway.
Yeah. But and what's interesting as well, so I can't remember the name of the chap. Was it Colour or was it? I can't remember. The chap who wrote the episode has had some experience on Community as well, which is actually I do like that show. It's funny in times. So you got somebody who's got some comedy pedigree here writing that. So maybe that's why we got our laughs in.
I haven't seen the Community, but yeah, maybe
for this one. So I don't know. I mean, moving forward, whether we'll watch more. I mean, assuming we will watch more, and maybe reviews depending on where things go. But
I'll probably watch the next one. I mean, we've had one terrible one and one alright one, so it could go up from here.
Yeah. It is really a case of, like I said, the last one, watch this space. It's but pleasantly surprising.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's brilliant, and or even that it was, but it's not even. It's a refreshing change actually sometimes to watch something that's, and again it does make you feel a bit dirty having to say, but call it for what it is. So is there anything else you wanted to say about it before we rate it? Or?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. So I'll leave this. What do you want to go with for this one?
I think it'd probably be a 5 or 6. Probably.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. It probably would have been a 5 or a 6 if it had not been for those few things that it got gutted in the last 10 seconds because of that with the human. If
they'd have really chilled Mariner down a lot, this episode probably could have been like a 7 or 8.
It could have been a really pretty good Star Trek episode.
Just
and
chill her out. Yeah. Just chill her out.
Because the story's not worlds away from. Actually, that's the strange thing that I watched. Thinking about it, actually, it reminded me of things like, what is it? 2 Days and 2 Nights, the Enterprise episode on Riser, Let Easy Without Sin. A lot of the Riser episodes, actually, Captain's Holiday and Next Generation, where Picard takes his holiday on Riser. The Riser episodes, actually. And some of the Deep Space Nine Ferengi stuff, the Ferengi stories with Quark and things like that, where you've got these sort of you're seeing the alien cultures a bit more outside of the Federation and how they get up to their day-to-day stuff and things like that. And so it's not just locked in on the ship kind of thing. But you had a good story with Rutherford on the ship as well, doing his command. Again, not hardly an original story. We've seen it so many times before. Troy doing Commander's Test in Thino Self, I think it was the episode. I can't remember now. Season 7 of Next Generation episode. All the Wesley Crusher stuff when he was joining Starfleet Academy, Nog in Deep Space Nine joining Star. So we've seen all that kind of people doing exams and tests and that to change ranks or go up in the ranks and things like that. So again, it's not an original thing, but it was good. It was fun.
I do think this episode could have been very good if she was not annoying.
That aside, taking her out of it, this actually felt like the most Star Trek episode since the Kurtzman era of Star Trek began.
Yeah.
It felt like the most, the closest to Star Trek.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Still worlds away from where it needs to be. My God, it's still worlds away from where Star Trek needs to be.
It's quite funny that the piss take series is closer than the main.
Yeah, it's weird that, isn't it? Yeah.
Because I noticed as well, the music is a lot closer than Picard and Discovery to the original music as well.
It feels much more like the music in the 90s, the golden age. It makes me laugh when people call this the golden age of Star Trek, as some people have been doing on Twitter and that. I mean, they don't know. They were probably born last week anyway. So. But no, the golden age of Star Trek was the 90s, that's... always two consecutive Star Trek series running on the air and intermittent films as well, and some of the best Star Trek. That's not to ignore the 60s, the classic era, which was also another in itself mini, but it was basically that self-contained 3 years of the original series. That was it. But the real golden era of Star Trek was that good, yeah. So it's strange, yeah. So we rated it. So you said about 6,
5 or 6,
and 4 for me, yeah. So we'll watch this space and we'll see how it goes and that. Yeah. So at this point now we're going to talk about episode 3. Was it called Temporal Edict or something?
I
to
don't
that
know.
effect?
I completely missed the title card.
Yeah, I think we kind of reached a bit of an impasse with Lower Decks, really.
Yeah.
Because after episode 2, which we thought was alright, you know, we laughed at it. And
a little bit of optimism.
Yeah, and I did say that, you know, I thought it was probably the most Star Trek thing for quite some time. I also did say that I felt dirty about the fact that I had laughed, because principally my reason for that is because I want the JJ Brigade gone from the Star Trek universe. I want this whole mess cleaned up, start again from scratch, and turn it into something that really does resemble Star Trek again. And if people give credit to any of Kurtzman era Star Trek, the bastards at CBS will give him another 5-year contract, you know. So,
but don't worry, they're not getting any praise this time.
No. So that was a glitch, because, you know, this was bad. Episode 3 was bad.
Really bad.
It was not funny. The story was just... Yeah, I mean, there's really not a lot to say about it. It was basically them just... they're supposed to be going to some peace thing on Cardassia Prime, but they say the Cardassians are a bit weird now, so
they're too scary.
They're too scary or something like that. So they go into this Galacolorian colonic irrigation planet where these weird creatures are all obsessed with crystals and that, and they're supposed to give...
Bad.
Crystal meth. Yeah. You'd think that with the way everyone's behaving on the ship. So they insult them by showing them a piece of wood instead of this welcome crystal thing. So they decide to attack the ship, whose name I can't even remember. Cerritos, is it?
Cerritos, something like that.
But because the captain found out that they were all goofing off basically with their duties and that, and doing something that Mr. Scott did for years, you know. He said that in the films and in the episode Relics and Next Generation. You know, you got to multiply your repair time by a factor of 5. Otherwise, how can you keep up your reputation as a miracle worker? People think that's amazing how he managed to do it much quicker than he said he would. So it's an insult, really, to the whole idea of Scotty. That is. But in this episode, the captain doesn't like it, so the captain tells the crew that they've got to do everything by the clock and, you know, as quick as it takes to do it and that. But because of that, how this affects their inability to fight the aliens when they come on the ship, I don't know.
Guess they're too fatigued.
But it just seems that because they've all got like heavy eyes and they're all like tired out and that. But when she tells them, "All just do whatever you like," all of a sudden the fatigue's gone. And they just suddenly start fighting the aliens and they save the ship, and that's really it. It's a showcase. You know, I'm using that sarcastically, that word. For Super Mariner, the bestest ever, as Doomcock would say, because she really is full on with this episode, isn't she?
She gave me multiple aneurysms.
Yeah, I mean, some of the lines from this is, "What am I, Kirk?" You know, because she thinks she's. I mean, no, you can't make that comparison. I'm good at solving space mysteries, and kicking ass was another one. And then this pearl of wisdom. Sometimes you have to do what's wrong to survive, or do the wrong thing to survive, or something like that. Yeah. Then, like, because she saves the basically, well, initially saves the away team by just suddenly jumping in there, and she's super kick. She's like Trinity from the Matrix, isn't she? Yeah. Flying through the air and everything. And I'm thinking, oh God, you know, what the hell is this? And then they bring out their biggest, baddest alien to fight, and the commander, who, as you pointed out, was
apparently resembles William Riker, according to the wiki.
Yeah, beating the crap out of this 25-foot thing, you know. But Mariner wants to do it, but he does it, and this seems to turn her on or something and get her a bit sort of all that. But then when they get back to the ship, he throws her in the brig or something like that, and then she's all of a sudden she's like, "I'll dance on your corpse," or "I'm going to dance on your blood," and all that. And this is her first officer.
And then he's like, "That was pretty hot." Yeah. And then it wasn't funny. And no one laughed in the world.
Yeah, well, I'm sure some of the blue check marks will have done. But that's it. I mean, that is it. My notes, nothing more to say.
There's nothing to say.
There's nothing to say, is there?
Shit.
It's terrible.
And unfunny.
Yeah.
This is the worst Star Trek episode
Yeah.
I've seen. Like, easy.
The only thing
Easy.
that, I mean, I don't even want to say that I liked, that I thought this was, it was right at the beginning. Boyne was playing his violin in the 10 forward bar, or whatever it's called on the ship. And then Mariner and, what's her name?
Onion Girl.
Onion Girl. Onion Girl. They gate crash it and do like a rock thing. And there's that much bass that it causes the ship to shake. And they're talking to this Klingon ship, and it insults the Klingon captain, with where is all this booze coming from and all that. But anyway,
yeah, that wasn't the funny bit.
That wasn't the funny bit. And the captain orders the commander to go and find what's creating the noise. He arrives in 10 forward, but by that point, Mariner's rock thing has finished, and Boimler picks his violin back up and about to start playing. The commander thinks that was what was creating the noise. Comes in, grabs the violin off him, smashes it in half. But you know, as I tell it like that now,
it doesn't
seem that funny.
No.
But that split second, I did go.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a belly laugh or anything.
Yeah.
I'm
very unmotivated this video. I'm just like
no. Yeah. This is the point we've reached, and I think we have decided. I felt like there was a bit of noise on YouTube about this, and I did wonder whether people were being slightly unfair after episode 2, but they're absolutely right.
It's dog shit.
It's awful. Yeah, they are absolutely right. This is, it's not. You can't call it a parody. You can't call it even like a funny piss take of Star Trek, because it's not funny, and it's not Star Trek, which is ironic. Saying after the last episode felt like the more.
It's like
it's playing tricks on us, isn't it? It's like it's tricking us. Sorry, go on.
It's like, okay, you go to see a stand-up comedian, okay. First, like, half an hour, just no one laughs, just not funny at all, complete crap. A couple of funny ones, and then they have a break or whatever. Yeah, that was episode 2, a couple of funny ones. One funny one, and then just dead bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Yeah.
It's like this episode. Imagine you sit down, you're like, let's enjoy this episode. You start watching it, you chuckle a little right at the start. That's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else for the rest of the episode.
I find it really. It's trash. It's insulting, and we do. You know, I need to not. I feel quite annoyed that I got hoodwinked by them, these people.
Yeah.
That I need to keep in mind now. We're going to have to keep this in mind with everything when they do all the bloody Section 31 talk, and they talk about Strange New Worlds and that. And even if they come back and says, right, we're bringing Avery Brooks back to play Cisco, we're bringing Nana Visitor back to play Kira, we're bringing Kate Mulgrew back to play Janeway, we're going to have a Riker series. No,
they can't write.
These people need to be gone, no matter what they promise, no matter what it is that they need to be gone. This area of you can't even really call it start. It needs to be over, and we're done. Aren't we? We're done.
Oh, easy.
We're done.
We can.
This is no.
We can throw our shitty little list away.
Of the names that we couldn't even remember. We had to keep a list of names. They're memorable characters. We're not gonna.
No
watch it. I'm not wasting any more of our.
We've wasted an
precious
hour and a
time.
half on this,
and Lord knows time is precious at the moment with all that we have going. You know.
Yeah.
No. We're not doing this. No, it's done. Even if it means, we're not, just doing a thing just for the sake of making videos for YouTube. This is.
No, we are not watching this anymore.
It's either about making a point about the way the industry is going and the media is going, or talking about the things that we like. And this is and we're flogging a dead horse in terms of saying this is where this is going. Because we've said it to death.
We've said it all throughout Picard. We've said it all through this.
I mean, we will look at Discovery when that comes along.
It's going to be a laugh.
It'll be, if nothing else, it will be a laugh, which is more than can be said about Lower Decks.
Yeah.
But it won't be intentionally funny.
Mm-hmm.
We won't,
But yeah, this show, I think, it's going to be forgotten. I think.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say so. And isn't it a sad thing when they've got the Golden Goose? I mean, it was often called the Golden Goose. the Star Trek franchise was. Certainly, it's been a golden goose for Paramount and CBS for many, many years. Why would so many people in Viacom CBS or whatever it's called now, because it's gone through so many permutations, be sat there and be happy with where this is going and the contracts that they've doled out?
I can only assume that it's cheap to make and they're pulling in more than they're
spending.
spending.
But it isn't, though. It isn't.
Is it not?
Because Discovery was hugely expensive.
That's true, it was.
Hugely expensive. Netflix were not happy with the deal, and they couldn't sell. Amazon picked up Picard for international distribution.
But
Even
they
hated that afterwards. I mean, the viewing, it bombed halfway through. It was just no one was watching it. They just gave up on it.
They went so hard with the advertisement.
Yeah.
I went out shopping somewhere one time, and they had this like big simulator thing, and we were walking. Me and my friend Finn were walking past, and they were just like, "Do you want to see this Picard thing?" Just like, nah. But the amount of ads I have had on YouTube for Picard, it's just ridiculous. It's like, spend that money.
Because something's going on with Picard, because there's still a lot of noise about Picard even now, isn't there? And I don't quite know why, because it's finished. I mean, we never even know whether we're going to have a season 2 or not, but maybe they're trying to get people back to watch it again to make a bit more money on Amazon or whatever. I don't know. CBS, I don't know.
He's claiming he's got it written for...
That doesn't mean anything, though, does it? Doesn't mean anything, does it? Yeah. So that's where we're going to leave things now.
Are we going to give it a juicy rating? I think that's quite obvious what we've given it.
I don't even want to rate it because it's. Do you know? Yeah, go on then.
It's a 1 out of 10. It has nothing of value.
I'm gonna, and people might say I'm just being a bit over dramatic here, I'm not even giving it. I'm going to give it a 0.
Yeah.
Because it's nothing.
This really was nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. We'll leave it there, I think. Yeah. Time wasted, and the time we'll never get back.
No.
But
let's talk about something better.
Yeah. We're gonna go and record another video now, and we're gonna talk about something that we enjoy. So. Yeah. Yeah. And with that, we'll just say for this video anyway. Thank you for watching. Apologies for those people out there that do like, but we're not going to be hypocritical about this. It is what it is, and that's where we're leaving things. But if you did like this video, please thumb it up, share it about. Truly appreciate it. And if you like what we've been doing with this channel, then please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Again, truly appreciate that. And we will see you in the next video.
We're free.
We're free! We're free!